Hi there, good evening, guys. We're here again. Another Monday has come. Welcome to the marketplace with Uchonochi. I'm glad to see you guys here this evening. Always a delight to have you guys here with me. Today is the concluding part of mistakes, the series mistakes, and today we're talking about how do I correct mistakes? How do I correct mistakes I've already made? Last week we talked about handling mistakes, and but this week we're talking about how do I handle, how do I correct mistakes that are already made. So you guys on Facebook, always a pleasure to have you guys on Instagram, and also for if you don't know, we are also on YouTube. You can join anyone that you like. We're on these three handles. We also use Zoom for those that prefer it, especially when we're doing using PowerPoint and slides to do presentation. We do them all here. And so welcome here this evening. This is Marketplace Apostles, and every Monday we are here every Monday to bring a webinar to you, and the areas of our areas here of focus here at Marketplace Apostles is business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationships, both corporate and personal. These are the things we deal with here at Marketplace Apostles. So be sure that every Monday you will get something within these five core areas. We jokingly say that is our fivefold ministry, is our fivefold pillars, core areas where we deal with, and anybody that has an issue in this area, or if you have a question from my presentation this evening, you can always ask me, put out a question on any of my DM, and I will be there on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time as well, to come and answer those questions. It's been those questions on Wednesday has really impacted lives, and you can ask me any question in these five core areas. All right, one more time, welcome this evening as I deal with how do I correct my mistakes. Mistake is life. We make a lot of mistakes. In fact, without mistakes, sometimes we'll not be able to learn. We make mistakes. I think I talked about last week, a child, you keep telling a child, don't put your hand into fire. And one said, I like the blue flame. Yeah, maybe you need to have an encounter with the blue flame inside fire before you realize that you don't dip your hand in all things. And so we make mistakes, but we should bounce back. Our mistakes shouldn't define who we are, and but in some cases, people tend to form a notion of a notion of themselves, and it begins to affect their self-esteem even without knowing. So today, I just want to bring out some things that we need to know. There's a popular saying that goes that first impression matters a lot. Oh, so when you make a mistake, it's like it's not possible for you to correct it. But most of the time you can correct, if the opportunity comes, because sometimes you can make errors and make mistakes, and you don't have opportunity to correct them. Their life throws that at you sometimes. So maybe in those cases, first impression might be all there is, but there's a way God has created this beautiful life that you always have a way that you can come back from mistakes. So you have opportunity to correct some first impressions that you have. I've said this a couple of times, places that I speak, and I said some people don't like me at first. I've had a couple of people that are my friends that they don't like me. They didn't like me at first. Some feel that this one looks like a snob. Some feels that when you don't talk much, you come into a gathering and you don't seem to talk much, maybe because you're an introvert, and people might think that maybe that is you are forming, as they say in our local parlance here, you're feeling too big or feeling too puffed up to talk to people, and that is usually first impression. But when we say hello to us to each other and we talk, and people are like, wow, I didn't think I made a mistake in judging you. So now they have opportunity to make amends and say, look, this is what I thought about you. But sometimes, if for any reason I don't see them again, maybe they will just go with that impression. Thank God for impression of people. It does not determine your destiny, and because the impression of people doesn't determine your destiny, you can have opportunity to change, because some people can actually affect your destiny. And so those people, when you come in contact with them, you make an error and make a mistake, you should correct them. You see, and people learn from their mistakes. Anybody that learns from his mistakes, the mistakes of his father, the mistakes of his elder brother, brothers or sisters, that person is wise. The person that listens more is wise. Because the reason why I say that is, someone said to me that it's like, it seems like last borns tend to be wiser than the rest of the kids. And I said yes. I said yes. Being a last born, I could get away with a lot of things when my seniors couldn't. Why? Because I learned from their mistake. When you're young, you will hear, maybe I have a brother that will do something and maybe ask for something, and my father is upset. Why will you ask for that? It might not be that he doesn't want to give you, it's the way you ask for it or the way you put it. So he will be talking to my mom and say, can you imagine if he had asked this? Oh, but they would think that you're a toddler, you don't know, but you're hearing. Leave all those 5, 6, 7, 8. They know things that you have no clue that they know. And they're there just soaking up everything. So now when it's your turn, you know exactly, especially when you want to go to boarding house. I don't know if in your home going to boarding house, you have a list, and all of you will stand in the line to write a list, and they will be checking your list of provisions and the things that you need to go to school with. So I was on that line when I was in primary school, and I was watching. And I was watching their mistakes, and I was seeing their pain, when they wanted things, they didn't get it. But my time, I was able to get more. I remember one of my brothers telling my wife that I got away with a lot. And it's because I learned from their mistake. And I was able to ride on that wave to get a lot that I wanted. So you can learn from other people's mistakes so that you can reduce the effect that yours is going to have. Mistakes are like, when you break your bone, if you break your bone, or let's say plate, or break a bone and plate, if a plate cracks in a way that you can seal it back, you always notice that there's a line, that's that line that it was broken. You will notice something happen. The same thing, a bone. If a bone is broken, even though it heals, but you can see that it's swollen a bit, it cannot be 100%. So there will always be marks and scars from the mistakes that we make. But I beg of you today, do not let that scar, do not let that experience now define you, and people begin to look at you. People can talk about your mistakes, but doesn't mean that you become that mistake, that they label you with that mistake, so you can correct your mistakes. They said, oh, this is the one that doesn't know mathematics, or this is the one. You can change. Everything is, I grew up, there's some things I thought I would never be able to learn. There's some things I thought I would never be able to learn, like French. Never liked French in school. I thought I would never be able to learn French. But there was while I was working, there was a project we had with a company, and they offered French classes. We needed to have French classes, and so I went into that French class. I didn't finish. Maybe I would have been speaking French fluently right now, but I didn't finish the course because we had to leave for another project. But when now they were now teaching us this French as an adult, I realized that wow, that French was not difficult. Maybe because of peer pressure, we didn't like the French teacher. All of us said we don't want to speak French. We don't even want to know that. We don't even have the capacity to speak French. But that was a lie. You see, in life, what you don't make out time for, you can never learn. You can never gain from. Where is this dude? What you don't make out time for, you won't be able to learn. You can't grow capacity in anything that you don't make out time for. So when you make a mistake at times, is because maybe you did not allocate much time to that thing. So if you do, you can correct it. But realize today you can correct any mistakes. Do you know that mistakes can help adjust your behavior and the way you learn? Yes, mistakes can help correct your behavior and the way you learn. In fact, scientists found out that making a mistake, when you make a mistake, the next time around you respond slowly. If anywhere you have made a mistake, by the time you want to do that same thing again, you're cautious. My son, my last son, sometimes I sit before he goes to an exam, I always call him and say, look, let me tell you, you see, being overconfident might be a reason for failure. People that are overconfident, most of the time, they fail because he feels that he's smart, he's brilliant, he knows it, and sometimes he flaunts it. But that brilliance in itself can also be a deterrent at the end of the day, or be detrimental to his examinations, because now he doesn't go back to proofread. I had to teach him, especially in English essay. I said, go back, read it again one more time. You see, as an adult, you can write a letter or you're writing to, and you might not be able to do your punctuations and put it right, and the person understands. But in an English exam, you're supposed to be there, and they will fail you. Sometimes he doesn't. He just writes believing that that thing he's written is perfect. But it's not about just what you wrote down, but how about the punctuations and crossing the T's and all those things, and putting the dot. Because at his age, you have to put that dot and cross that T. If not, the teacher, knowing exactly what you're doing, will fail you. And so you have to, when you make that mistake, you have to be able to adjust. So I told him, he didn't listen, and he went and he failed. Not that he failed, because for him, if he has anything C, he feels that he has failed. So I said, well, yes, you had 50 when you thought maybe you should have had 80 or 90. Why? Because he was overconfident. So now, if he's going to an exam, he's currently writing junior WAEC, I'll tell him, how are you the first? Because then he wants to be the first to finish and come out of the exam hall. And I'm telling him, who is giving you prize for finishing and coming out of the exam hall? So now he has learned his lesson. So now if he goes into exam hall, I ask him, are you the first to finish? He said, no, it's about the last. When he finishes, he's going to his work. I said, now you become smarter. But these are the reasons why failure or mistake, or rather mistake, can help you be slower the next time, because now you know where your mistakes, and where you made a mistake rather. And the thing with revision, like now in revision in school, revision is necessary. Because what during revision you're able to correct your mistakes, or you're able to know, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't use the right formula, I didn't do this, just in case of mathematics. Then you now say, oh, okay, I should have done this. Revision is good. It helps you, so error helps you reset your brain, it helps your brain, resets your brain to give it more time to avoid making that mistake. So we all need that correction, those errors, to make us realize in life because you're human, you're prone to making mistakes. So know that you have to be slow at times, slower in some certain areas, so that you don't make mistakes. It's just that someone wanted to send, let me just give you an instance. There's this guy, his younger brother has been begging him for money for months, and he said he's not going to give to him. So he now called that urgent. He wanted the younger brother to come, and the brother said, you have to send me some transport money to come. I said, okay, I'm going to send you 5,000. He said you send him 2,000. He said, no, send me 5,000, let me come and do what you want. The younger brother was in the university, and so in the pit, he was in a hurry. He's always sending money. He was in a hurry, and he sent his younger brother 50,000. The boy didn't come back to him. The boy stayed back in school. He was calling and said he stayed back in school. And so next time he realized he didn't come, because he knew that if he had come, the brother was going to collect the money from him. And he said, well, this is my, which word did he use? He said, well, this is karma. This is my reward for begging you for a long time and you refused. So anytime he wants to send his brother money, he say, let me look at the zeros, or this stupid boy will not give me back my money. So because of that, you realize that he's always careful. His brain is alert, his subconscious mind is alert when he wants to send money now, so that he doesn't make that mistake. He told me, do you realize that I've made a couple of those mistakes and the people didn't even tell me? I said, he said, yes. There was a time he had to get his bank statement, and which he says he now does regularly. And as he was looking through it, he saw that he overpaid some people and they never got back to him. One was 560,000 naira when he was supposed to spend, supposed to pay 56,000 naira. He paid 500 and the person didn't get back to him. And the thing was a one-off transaction he had with this person, so the person is gone. So by the time he looked at all that, he's now more careful when he wants to make transfers. And he has now said, certain amount of money, I won't transfer, I'll come and take check. I'll come and take check, so that we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to know exactly what is happening. So the brain, the subconscious mind is alert, especially when we make a mistake, which is good. Nobody wants to lose money in that way. So it is good at times for us to fall into mistakes or make mistakes. It's the way God has designed life. Mistakes help us to know. Without mistakes, you won't know what is right or wrong. So if you fail, then you know exactly what success means, or what a pass means. So sometimes mistakes are just there. You can never eliminate mistakes from life. You see, they are good. So look at it from that way and realize that mistakes are good. Okay, teachers say in school, since I'm using a lot of school now, let me just go on like that. Teachers say that students will make lots of mistakes. And it's important that we allow them, so they make those mistakes, but that those mistakes are part of the learning process. The education is realized, they understand that those mistakes are part of their training. So sometimes you see that lecturers will give you very difficult topics and questions so that you make a mistake. Sometimes I have this math lecturer and he will set a question in a way where you will be cracking your head, and he'll tell you that it was just simple English language. He calls it English in maths or something like that. It's just a yes or no question, but you will be solving bringing all the formulas. It's just a yes or no question. You know those type of maths questions that they throw up. It's just English. It's not like you're supposed to solve anything. You know, so he makes these things, the topics and the exam difficult, so he can teach you how to think. You know, I think I like maths a lot, because the maths opens your brain, so to say, early, because now you have to read the English first, then you have to understand, visualize, then before you begin to solve. So I think he helps children to have a broader view of life. So it is good. Educationists say that, look, we make these things difficult so that they will fail. And when they fail, we will not teach them the right way to think. Okay, so choose material that is challenging but manageable. And when these kids make mistake, it helps them. The same thing applies in life. Sometimes God allows us to go through very challenging situations so that He can help us better prepare ourselves in life. So please, don't think that everything that happens to you is negative, is bad, is the devil, is your stepmother, is your mother-in-law, for some is your just calling whatever it is, singling out. And try for teachers, just try as much as possible. Don't single out students, because when they make mistakes, because we all do, from that mistakes, teach them and the whole class. Even if you call somebody out that he made a mistake, now instead of saying the class should start booing the person, why don't you call the person out and say, okay, and teach the person the right thing. And while teaching the person the right thing, the others are learning. So when you teach him under that circumstance where everybody is watching, he will learn. Next time he won't want to come out. So bringing him out, you didn't bring him out to crucify him. You actually brought him out to help him, to guide him, to help him do better. So because when you single out students, they will begin to have low self-esteem. You know, they'll become self-conscious all their life. And even when they start working, they will not be able to stand up in meetings and make presentations. While I was working, I know a lot of people that cannot stand up in a meeting and do presentation. They will try to dodge it in the best, any way that is possible for them to dodge those things. They will dodge it. Because maybe one teacher made the class to boo him, and you know, some of us are very sensitive, more sensitive than the others, and some of us are more fragile, not even physical, but internally. There's this muscular guy that when we were in school, if he's big, but we all thought he was a bully. But there's a way you can abuse him, something, he starts to cry. This man, when you look at all the muscles in his body, he can beat the whole class, pick up the whole class at once and throw us out of the window. But he was very sensitive. You know, so some people are very sensitive and they never recover from, they can't recover from such things. So teachers or whoever is dealing with people, try as much as possible that you don't single people for life and scar them. You can scar them for life, and it might take a long time before they'll be able to bounce back. So let's just look at why is it important, correcting mistakes. Why is it important? You shouldn't accept mistakes. See it as a hurdle. Don't see it as the end of or don't see it as a destination. Don't see it as the end of the project. You made a mistake. Okay, it's a sign from God that I shouldn't do this. It's not a sign from God. Perhaps you didn't put in what you should have put in to make that thing successful. It's not a sign from God. It's not everything that happens is a sign from God. Don't accept mistakes and say, okay, this is the way it is. Try to correct every mistake that comes your way. Don't accept it. Attempt to correct, at least make an attempt to correct those mistakes. Because if you don't make an attempt to correct those mistakes, you are allowing it to define who you are. And once you accept that definition of who you are, you become that thing. So you should not accept mistakes and say mistakes are a way of life, but you should not accept it that whatever mistake you make and that is your life, or that is the story of your life. No. The reason why is to realize that the reason why correction is, or mistakes come, is to know what is right and what is wrong. And what is wrong can be corrected. What is right can stay. You see, if you invest in the development, in that process, or when you're processing it to make correct, to make amendment, you have more understanding. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, we'll be using school and we'll be using mathematics, and you now come to a particular equation and you don't know how to go about it, and you have failed a couple of times on this, then you might be able to look at it and say, oh, okay, how do I make this correction? Okay, I failed here. There was a particular topic in, I can't remember which part of mathematics we were supposed to write in WIAC, and that was giving me a problem because I've failed that particular part of math a couple of times. So I now said, no, I need to make amends. I will not accept that I'm not good in that area, because WIAC will not tell you you are good in that area or you're not good. You're either going to get a pass or you're going to get a fail, a pass or fail it. So I now went to luckily there was an engineering student at that time, my neighbor, or he came to a cousin to my neighbor. He just came in, and when I heard that he was reading engineering, I went to him. I said, look, I have a problem in this particular place, and he now asked me what was the problem. And by the time I solved the problem before him, he started laughing. And I was wondering, why were you laughing? And he said, look, you just missed it. This is where you missed it. And me, I had concluded that there was no way I could pass that particular thing. Wow. So I said, okay, so this is it. So anytime I come to that particular stage in that, I will use the formula or the system and style that he has taught me, and I was able to scale through. So we must make amends and not accept that mistake mistake is who we are, and so we can move on. Another aspect of mistakes I want to tell you about before we get into tips on how we can correct mistakes is that, please, it's good to forgive yourself and move on. Sometimes laugh at yourself is a good therapy for you to laugh at your mistakes. Don't beat yourself up too much. You should laugh at your mistakes and just laugh. Oh yes, I blew this one, and it helps you mentally to be able to realize that we all make mistakes. You can do something and you say, I really wish I handled this thing differently. I messed up. Yes, you messed up, but just laugh and say, well, better luck next time. Sometimes it's something small, sometimes it's something big. But this is what I do. After every mistake, if you don't learn from that mistake, then you have wasted that opportunity. You know why? And because you have wasted it, that same mistake will come in a different form. So that error, that mistake you made, you must realize the cause. Why did I make this mistake in the first place? Because if you don't realize why you made that mistake in the first place, what is going to happen is that you will not see it coming the next time, because it will not particularly come in that particular shade or color it came. It can come in another shade, another color, another form, another format, and you might not be able to recognize it. So first of all, sit down and say what really happened. That's the time for you to analyze it And if you think that you know people that are good in that area, that is when to seek counsel. That's where to seek counsel. Like I said, all of us need mentors. We need mentors, we need counselors, we need people. It doesn't have to be formal. We need people that we can call at times and just talk and say, look, this is what happened. And they will be able to tell you, I've gone through this before, it has happened to me before, maybe you should do this and maybe you should do that. It will help you. So once you can find the reason, understand the reason, believe me, it will not happen to you again. So another thing I want to talk about is that there are positive sides of mistakes. There are positive sides. There are some people that say that because something has happened, I've seen that everything that happens can be for your own highest good. Some people, mistakes are made, their life stops and ends there. But you should realize that anything that happens to you, I always say it in most of my presentations and most of my talk, whatever is permitted, God permits to happen to you, is a lesson. There should be a lesson that you will learn from it. Because naturally, without any doubt, at times we just follow direction that leads us to make a mistake, and some of those mistakes can be disastrous. They can lead us to pain, sadness, and great loss at times. Loss of peace, money, health, you name it, or property, But that in itself shouldn't be, okay, your life is in this way. No, I believe that there's a positive side. The positive side of mistakes can never be seen, can never be reached, if you don't sit down and understand what led me to this place. You come out of a failed marriage. What happened? Why didn't I see these signs? So that when you come into a relationship again, you are mindful of those things. Maybe now you need a marriage counselor to talk to you, or experienced people to talk to you and tell you this is the pointers, this is what you should be looking out for, so that you don't make that mistake again. A lady came to me and said, look, why am I attracting the same kind of people? I say you're attracting the same kind of people because you have the same, you need to change your mindset. Once you change your mind, your outlook will change and your life will change. It's because you feel in a certain way, and that's why you are attracting a certain kind of people. I don't want to go into details because it's someone's life. And I told her that, look, if you can change the way you think, the way you have seen this, then you will see that good things will begin to come your way. A lady had married once, and because she was young and she wasn't mature, and she lost that marriage, and so now she's in her second marriage, and she was not having it easy in that second marriage. And this was the reason why it was not having it easy, because she feels that if I complain now, if I do this, people will say I cannot keep a man, and she doesn't want that stigma. I say, look, you have placed that stigma on yourself. You made a mistake because you were young, but that doesn't mean that now you should become dumb in marriage because you don't want the same relationship to go the way the other one went, and they will say that you are jinxed, you can't marry, you can't keep a man. I say no. If somebody has told you they love you enough to be in a relationship, the man will be feeling like he's a saint, he's an angel, because you have never corrected him or told him what you truly like or what you don't like. I mean that, look, marriage is a long time. We are looking at 40, 50 years depending on your age. So are you going to be in this? Marriage is like a very good solitary confinement. When I say solitary confinement, it doesn't mean it's bad. But what I mean is that you are with this person for the rest of your life. You can't. she was scared because she doesn't want, when she addresses some things, maybe it can lead to divorce. But I looked at the things that she was scared of. It's not something that could lead to divorce, but she just was scared because she made a mistake. So now she has allowed her mistake to define her, who she is, and that didn't help her at all. So I told her, look, you need to confront your husband. You need to not confront, you need to speak with your husband, tell him this, tell him your heart, and find time. I taught her the way you should be able to talk to a man, when and what time, and the words that you can use. We rehearsed it over and over again, and she was able to go there. I said, like Esther, if I perish, I perish. And by the time we finished talking with the man was so surprised and said, well, but you didn't say anything. And the man apologized and that he would not do it. And please, and said one word, please, if I offend you in any way, speak to me about it. I gave him the rule, the same rule that I use in my home, my own relationship with my wife, is like, if I offend, if anybody offends, 48 hours, because sometimes if you're angry, it might not be the best time, but within 48 hours you should bring up that topic. Within 48, max 72 hours, that thing needs to be discussed, because anything after 72 hours, you have forfeited the right. So you just swallow that quarrel or this thing and just pray to God to help you to touch your heart. Why? Because when you let it exceed 72 hours, chances are that you might not find time to bring it up. And those unresolved conflicts become bitterness. And those bitterness leads to resentment. And that resentment leads to internal divide, separation. I'm not saying divorce. There are people living together, but they are separated mentally. You will not know that two of you have gone 20 miles apart, but because you are in the same house. It's because of unresolved things. So please try as much as possible to make sure that you bring out those things. And I told the lady, I said, see, this is it. And he suggested it to the husband. And the husband said it was a great idea. So they are living happily. And I told her, you made a mistake. You can't kill yourself because you made a mistake when you were young. So because of that, you will swallow whatever a man does to you. No. I believe that you have a responsible man, a reasonable man, and the guy was reasonable, and they're living happily ever after. So now let me just discuss some couple of steps to fixing and correcting mistakes. A few of them I've said before. The first one is acknowledging the mistake directly. No blame game, please. Don't say this one caused this one. Blame. Don't blame this. Is it not because I went to this guy, he has duped me? It's not so much about the guy duping you. It's about you not doing your survey or understanding what you are doing, understanding the kind of people to use, or being able to see some signs that this person can dupe you, or not putting control measures in place so that the person and the person duped you. So there are some other things that you should have done to protect yourself. So it's not just somebody duped me and maybe that is my life, that is witchcraft. Is witchcraft that doesn't want me to prosper. Maybe because you are not doing some certain things, you're not researching things well. Whether it's business, whatever it is. Somebody is nasty at work and say, I don't have friends. I went to a prayer house and they told him that there's a garment that they put upon you. So let's be praying for you and pouring oil on you so that people will like you. They can pour 100 liters on you. The person has a foul character and a dangerous mouth. So you need to be able to realize that you need to change some things so that people can come closer to you. If you want to have friends, you have to make yourself friendly. You don't have friends, then check yourself. You must acknowledge that maybe there's something I did or something I've been doing. Accept your mistakes. Learn what to do, then you move ahead. The second step is to take responsibility. Find out the things why you made that mistake. Take responsibility and say, look, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something about it. Take that responsibility. The responsibility might be to apologize if need be. The responsibility might be to make peace if the need be. The responsibility might be to go back to school. The responsibility might be to go to YouTube and learn something so that they won't look down on you. The responsibility might be change something. So you must take that responsibility and make a change. Another way you can fix your mistakes is to have a practical way to offer a practical way to make up. You have to make up for the mistakes. If it's a person that you offended, you have to find ways to make amends. If it's a client that you offended, you have to find ways to make amends. If it's a client that you didn't do something well, you can make amends and say, guys, please, the next job, pay me 50%. I apologize for this negligence that has led to this particular thing. You have to make amends. You have to forgo. It has to cost you some things. A proud person cannot make amends, because a proud person will always be seeing a reason why they should not apologize. There's some people, they find it difficult to say I'm sorry. That's a trait of pride. And pride comes before every fall. If you make mistakes, sometimes you can even say sorry. In fact, if you want to have a successful marriage, I don't know why I'm talking about marriage today. If you want to have a successful marriage, the first thing you need to have is to learn is that I am sorry. Whether you're right, whether you're wrong, I am sorry so you can sleep well that night. I am sorry can save you many things. Apologize. Find ways that you can make amends. If you offend, don't say, it's my wife now, I beg. She will understand. We've been together. Make amends. Never leave somebody sad and you are the cause of it if you know about it and say they will blow over. No. Make amends. If it's a customer, think and ask people. Always say, in the multitude of counselors there's safety. Ask people, how can I make this? You are learning. And like I said before, once you make it a habit of making amends, finding ways to make amends, you will naturally grow better at it, become better at it. You become better. Like I said, what you don't make out time for, you can never know. You can never be good at what you don't make out time for. So now, if you make out time to continue to make amends when necessary, gradually your subconscious mind is alert. When you want to take a decision, you will think better so that you don't have to come back and make amends. That's what making amends does for you. That's one of the major benefits. It makes you an altogether, all-round good person, or is it good? All-round effective person in whichever way you find yourself. Somebody, because that is understand. In fact, another word is empathy. Because now you just don't take actions. You take actions thinking broadly and widely before you take actions because of mistakes, because of taking responsibility to correct mistakes. And see, another thing that people do is that you need to give people time to think and respond to what you're trying to fix. Have you seen someone that offends you and person say sorry now, so are we friends now? Are we back to, are you trying to force me to accept your apology? No. What you're even doing is that you're even forcing that person to go further away from you. Let's give people room to respond. Do what you need to do. Some might accept your apology, some might not accept your apology. But you know deep inside of you made amends. And please make amends genuinely because it comes from your heart. Don't make, because somebody that is offended might just know that you're just doing it because maybe somebody advised you to. You know, let it come from you when you want to apologize. Let it be genuine. And people will know when it's genuine, when it's not. And allow people to think and respond to the amends that you were trying to make. If it's in explaining, I am sorry, but this is why I did what. I am sorry should come with an explanation. Not because you want to justify what you did, but let the other person realize your mindset when you were doing that. I am sorry. I thought that this was what you were saying, and so I acted in this way. This was how I was thinking at that particular point in time. So I'm sorry that I was thinking in this way, and so I said or did this when you meant this. You know, so the person realized that, oh, okay, we are two separate parts of the divide. You know, we were just thinking. You know, it's easy for that person to say, okay, I understand. So give them time to be able to respond. And when they respond, please listen. Don't just be satisfied that they are responding to you. No, listen. Because that thing that you're going to hear is going to be what will help you tomorrow when that something similar happens. So you need to respond, you need to listen, and then also respond appropriately. Do what you say you will do. There's integrity is a major part of fixing things. Don't just talk. Do what you say you will do. Because if you don't do it, integrity simply is doing what you mean and meaning exactly what, or doing what you say and saying exactly what you mean. So do exactly what you say you do. Do not just copy, just say things because you just want someone to forgive you. You go back and continue to do what you say, do what you were doing and not what you said you were going to do. And lastly, I will end with this. You are not a mistake. When you make a mistake, keep it in mind that it doesn't define who you are as a person. Please, you made a mistake. We all do. The best of us do. The very best of us do make mistake. So please don't take it upon yourself as in, oh, okay, I am this kind of person. I'm always prone to error. I'm prone to accident. You know, what is uppermost? Law of attraction clearly states that what is uppermost in your mind, you attract. There's some people that keep having the same kind of accident because they say, I'm prone to having this accident. You know, I always have malaria, so I'm prone to having malaria. And you say it all the time, and you say, I don't like small mosquito bite like this, I have malaria. So you keep saying it, and that becomes your reality. It becomes your reality, you know, and you should try as much as possible. Don't make that mistake. Okay, maybe I did not use insecticide, and because of that, you've already programmed yourself that maybe you will be sick, and you will be sick. You're not a mistake. No matter what you did, even if you have a failed marriage, it doesn't mean that you're not a lovable person. It's just that you made a mistake. The knowledge, I think, is Bishop Oyedepo that was said long time ago, and I heard say just because you failed the exam doesn't mean that you are dumb. It's just that you don't know enough, or you didn't know enough at that particular time to pass that exam. So when you go back and learn more, when the exam comes, you'll be able to pass. You were not a mistake. You have a failed marriage. Now, if you're able to get a counselor, get people to talk to you, hey, I'm done. Get people to talk to you, if you're able to get people to talk to you about what happened, the things that happened, you know what will happen is when you are in a relationship again, or you want to enter into a relationship again, your senses will be more alert to certain things than before. Your eyes will be open. You will not take things for granted. And so the next relationship is bound to be successful by the grace of God. Because we can't really control how people think, but we should be able to. We can't control how they think, but if we can follow certain methods or follow certain ways, we at least will know that this person is someone I can live with, because nobody is perfect. You have to live with some certain downside, but you have an idea. So guys, I want to end with this. You are not a mistake, no matter what you've gone through. And please try to make amends. With these steps I've given to you, I believe that you will be okay. Before I leave you, just give me a few minutes. Just want to talk to you about my Wednesday mentoring. It's mentoring, coaching, counseling, all put in one, depending on your questions. 5 p.m. Wednesday, every Wednesday, I come live for 1 hour to answer questions. If you want to participate in my mentoring or coaching or counseling session, just drop your question in my DM. Either Uchonoche, either Marketplace Apostle, or Making Nigeria, whichever one you belong to, or whichever one you like it, so that you get information about the things that we're doing, and just follow up. When you see, you will surely get a notification. Just follow us so you know when I'll come. 5 p.m. every Wednesday, I will come and answer the questions, people that put their questions out there. The question might be on what I just talked about. The question might be in these 5 core areas I told you about: business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationships, both personal and corporate relationships. So if you put it out there, I will come for 1 hour and answer. A lot of testimonies have come out of it. People have been blessed. Businesses, lives have been transformed, and even suicide has been averted. So it's a great platform. It's a great program to come, or a great session to be part of. So this is a special invitation. I want to see you. Then now people say, look, I need more than this 1 hour or one question at a time. If you feel like that, people approach me every day and like, look, I want you to coach me to become a better person, or to become this. Yes, if you reach out to me, we can make it work. I can come and we can find out time and to make it work. It's always best. People also consult me for business. We do that consulting, and we consult for people. And people say, look, I want you to come and speak. Yeah, if you want me to come and speak, you can just let us know. You write to us or put it in our DM. We'll reach out to you and let you know. Availability might be an issue, but if you put it out there on time, and we can make it work. If it falls on a good day, why not? I like to speak. I speak for a living. That's more. I speak almost every day. So if you need me to come and speak, why not? I'll be there. You just need to reach out. So until I see you on Wednesday, 5 p.m., have a blessed night. Good night, and take care till we meet again.